Hi, I'm Cristy, and welcome to the Journey to TEDx Wilmington. Yes, it is officially the day of TEDx Wilmington. It is a huge event that we do every year, and we have, 24 speakers, I think, today. And Bianca McCall just got off the stage. Bianca, it is so great to see you.
Oh gosh, it's so nice to see you again too. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we met last year as you did your first TEDx, right? Was that your very first one?
That was my first one.
And so amazing. Brought her back. Tell us about it. How was it?
Gosh, even though it was my second time around, I still experienced kind of the nervousness that I really attribute to a lot of my experience just as a retired athlete. I was telling everybody, I'm not antisocial, but I'm getting in the zone right now. I said this is equivalent to the national anthem playing, and I'm in the line, and I'm getting a focus about me, and really during that time, kind of making this commitment with myself, like, how much am I going to open up, and what energy am I going to tap into, in order to be vulnerable on stage and share the story. And so this time around, it was amazing to be able to, anytime that I'm able to connect with people, and connect with the energy in the room, I honor that. So it was great.
You just said that so beautifully. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
Yeah, because it is such an energy that of course there's the energy in the room, and as I mentioned earlier, it's a sold out show today.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people in the audience, and you got to get in that zone. And I love how you equated it to like the national anthem being in the line, because you played professionally for how many years?
I only played for one season. Season before I had to hang up the jersey, but
oh my gosh.
But yeah, basketball is my first love. It was something that I played ever since before I could remember.
Right.
Grew up watching my father play basketball as well, and so once you're an athlete, once you compete on every level, that never goes away.
It never goes away.
It never goes away.
Yeah.
Like I talk basketball talk, and I'll even call my father up now, and I'm going through a challenge, and I'll be like, Bianca, fourth quarter, what are you gonna do? So it never goes away. Never goes away. I love that.
Yeah, you can't say. You worked your whole life,
Yeah.
So
this is my 41st season.
Exactly.
Aging myself. This is my 31st season as an athlete.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what was the talk about today? What was the title?
So the title of the talk was "If These Walls Could Talk."
Oh, I like it.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to do something provocative, today. That was my goal. I wanted to disrupt kind of status quo and how we think about and how we talk about mental health, and how we approach mental health, or even just kind of our awareness with ourselves. Last year I spoke about just kind of the binary nature of how we approach mental health, and just people are healthy or they're ill. This year I really wanted to add depth to that and talk about each of the stages on the continuum and how important conversations are. So language is important, conversations are important, and not only conversations with other people, but it starts with the conversation that we're having with ourselves. So If These Walls Can Talk was really just kind of outing the private space that we all go into, and we have these private conversations, and some of them are very destructive, and we create kind of these avenues from silence to violence. So
that's incredible. You're just extraordinary, first off, to talk to.
Gosh, thank you.
And you're so eloquent. I love the words that you use to describe things.
Thank you.
I wasn't even down there, but you just took me on that whole journey with you. So thank you so much. I just took the journey to TEDx. I love it. That's so amazing. Now, did you feel that you had more, because you already did the talk last year? Did you feel like you could come in and have like a better structure? Like, okay, everybody says, a lot of people have said today, like, don't talk about too much, focus in on one thing. And I think when we first get on that stage, we're like, we just want to just talk about it all. Were you able to really like structure it where you're like, this is what I need to focus on this year?
Yeah, I actually had this conversation earlier today, and I was saying, again, from my athletic background, that, in the off season is when you go back into the lab, you go back into train, and you tweak some things, you want to improve on some of the things that you were challenged with last time or last season, and you just want to have a better season, you want to perform better. And so I definitely took that competitive edge into my approach with TEDx Talk from last year to this year. I wanted to be better. I wanted to kind of one up. But at the same time, I recognized that last year, with it being my first one, there was a lot of this just kind of in awe, right? Like, oh, I get to be on the stage and I'm so excited. And it was really an opportunity for me to introduce myself to the TEDx space and to everyone who attended last year. Right. So I did a bit more of storytelling and shared just kind of who I am and what I do, per se. This year, I got an opportunity to be a lot more purposeful, with the message. Right. And so I did get a chance to really hone in and identified, like, what do I want people to walk away with today? And what I wanted people to walk away with was, wow, I'm seeing this differently, right? So a shift in perspective was important to me. And then also that these conversations are important. Right. We've got to bring the conversations that we're having inward, we've got to bring them out into a safe space. And it's all of our responsibilities to create that safe space, because we have such an influence, not only as we're reshaping our identities each time that we're pained or hurt or injured, but through conversation with another person, that we're also influencing their reshaping process. Yes. So if we can leave here feeling like, I'm going to take responsibility for that, I'm going to be accountable for the power of influence that I have on myself and on others, that's a win. That's a win. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love how you went back to the lab, though. I love that. Back to the lab. Back to the TEDx lab. Yes. Oh my gosh. Incredible. So I have to ask, will you do it again? Like, do you feel like, yeah, I got more to say? You know what? I always feel like I have more to say. It's so funny. If you know me, you know that I'm never, at a loss for words. And it'd be quite funny if I led with that. I don't know what to say. I always have things to say, and to be honest with you, I thrive on being able to connect with people. Having these conversations, it's so important to me, and something that doesn't always come up in conversations, right, is the why I do this, and it's really that I've discovered kind of this pathway to healing myself. Yes. Right. Through healing others in these conversations. I discovered the healing qualities of podcast platforms and talking and kind of doing I'll show you mine if you show me yours, if I'm vulnerable, there's that fine line between vulnerability and courageousness. And if I can cross through that line and show that it's possible, and to show, that healing, that we are powerful, remarkable beings that are meant to be fulfilled and whole and healed, and that starts from within ourselves, then, I'm all for it. I'm always going to show up and have something to say about it. See, this is why you're one of my favorite people to talk to. Like, my mind is just like, yeah. All right. Yeah, I love that. I think that that's so important. I think that, as you said, the truth of it is the healing part. Mm-hmm. And I've had the pleasure to work with a lot of the speakers this year, and them creating their stories, and the healing process is so real. Mm-hmm. These are personal stories that have shaped you, right? And now you're sharing that with somebody else, and it's just it's remarkable to be able to be, the fly on the wall, right? Right. And be able to see that healing process as people go through it, and I can definitely agree with that. As you're giving your talk, you're healing at the same time. It is a process. Absolutely. I mean, confirmation is one of the greatest gifts and feelings of all, right? Is confirmation, feeling that sense of pain that's gone to passion, that's gone to purpose, right? And I'll never forget, when I first started off in practice and doing therapy, my client would leave the room, and I'd sit there and I'd be like, gosh, had I not had this particular lived experience, I don't know that I would have been in the space to be able to show such compassion and humility as I'm talking with somebody,
Right.
and there's this feeling of confirmation and just gratitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thankful for, even though this wasn't the greatest situation,
Right.
I was thankful for that feeling of I've learned that lesson, right? Like I've walked away, or I've come away with something that I'm not going to be selfish and just keep it to myself, but that I'm able to share.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, the healing it's profound. It's profoundly satisfying, gratifying, and it's really that feeling of confirmation.
Right. And I think that's incredible, because I don't know if everybody looks at it that way. We go through these struggles and these dark times and different things like that, and we have a choice. We can say, "Oh, poor me,"
Mm-hmm.
or we can grow from it,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can go and help others
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
through it. And it's just, and that just heals us even more.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. So.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being
Oh,
here.
of course. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I
So
always
excited
love
to
talking
see
to you.
Yes, thank you.
Do you want to share any of your links with people? Tell them how to find you. You want to,
God, well, like I said, I'm always out there talking, and my movement, that I started and kind of added all of these discoveries into. It's called Reach In Now, and that's how you can find me. On all socials, it's at Reach In Now. We've actually got a beta version of our mobile application out that's live on the app stores right now, and it's Reach-In Now.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, we're everywhere. We're on socials. We're in the app stores. Our website is www.reachinnow.com. But all of my links to be able to talk with me directly, or to be able to explore all that we have to offer in terms of curriculum, in terms of the speaking and talking to groups. Like I have a particular affinity for young people and for athletes and performers. All of that information can be found at those sites.
I love that.
Yeah.
And just a quick note, when you do TEDx or TED, you're not allowed to promote anything that you do.
Sure.
That's why I want to do this journey
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Because
Thank
there's
you.
just so much incredibleness out there. I just made up a word, incredibleness. But it's so important, to get the message out. But then I want people to be able to still find you
I
and
appreciate
help you
it.
in that mission. So,
I
or if
appreciate
they
it. Thank
need
you so
help.
much. Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
I love you too. Thanks, dear.
All right, Bianca. Thank you so much. We'll have more speakers coming up in a little bit.